Hey everybody, you are tuning in to the Canary Cry News Talk live stream pre-stream. Good job for being here. We're about to get the show started. A couple of things I wanted to mention. Just a reminder, of course, YouTube, you'll just be getting half of the show today, so make sure to find another location to watch to get the second half of the show. Also, just a reminder to join our text message alert system. You can do that by texting the word Canary to 877-740-3226. That's a good way to do it. The text message just went out, baby. So there you go. Also, remember, today is the very last day. It is the cutoff for the first quarter Canary Cry supply drop. So if you've been waiting, you've been holding on, today is the day to do it, baby. So head on over to CanaryCry.Supply.com. All right, buckle your seatbelts, hold on to your butts. Let's get going.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy.
You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is February 28th, 2022, and we are live to tape on episode 452. Today, Nuke Encryption. Oh, the Nuke Encryption. And Razzle Basil. I'm your best buddy, Basil.
And this is Gonz, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ. Welcome to the podcast where we bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. And thank you to all the prayers and just the nice notes from people. I couldn't respond to everybody, but yeah, family's doing well and all better. But yeah, let's just dive in.
You're looking slimmer there, Gonz. Looks like you lost about 10 pounds.
Well, you know, when you clean out the old storage there,
it's the old little bit of spring cleaning for Gonz.
Spring cleaning, things clear out. You know who needs some spring cleaning is Ukraine.
Oh no, that's not good.
That's what Putin says.
Russia. And you shall hear wars and rumors of wars.
Lots of boom, boom.
What a jingle bonanza
sequence
for our lead story here.
Well, we don't have like a proper Ukraine jingle yet, so
no. Why would we?
And
How would we have known? It's not like the Washington establishment was telling us this was going to happen, or that they were trying to make it happen. Either way, here we are.
Sir Sigrah the Beast gave us a little clip that I want to start things off with. Did you have something to say before we dive in?
No.
This is from Fox News, and the title of the video is Ukrainian Parliament member, quote, we are proving everybody wrong. And there's an interesting thing that she mentions here.
For the rest of us that aren't Ukrainians, I think the world, quite frankly, Kira, is surprised by the will of the Ukrainian people to stand up and fight. Are you?
Well, I'm not surprised. We have been fighting Putin for the last 8 years, and we had 3 revolutions in our country when we did not agree with what was going on with the direction of where we're moving in. But right now, it's a critical time because we know that we not only fight for Ukraine, we fight for this new world order for the democratic countries. We knew that we are the shield for the Europe. We knew that we are protecting not only Ukraine, we are protecting like all the other countries that would be next if we fail. That's why we just cannot fail.
A new world order.
So I guess it's pretty clear now. The West, the democratic West is the new world order.
Well,
we must maintain it against Putin trying to destroy it.
Well, and that's kind of what we've been saying. It's interesting that this woman said this on Fox, and that's been part of our conversation, which is the new world order. Like, we are in the new world order now.
Yeah, it's been Bush Sr. said it in 91.
Right. A lot of times there's been a lot of talk about like, oh, the new world order is coming to get us. The new world order, it's going to happen soon. When the fact of the matter is we've been in the new world order for a while now. Yeah. And that new world order is the in their words, in their intentions, was to back away from the way things work, where, you go to war to get property, to expand your borders, to, the old sort of kingdom empire type of conquest. Yeah. Yes. The new world order is this new weird financial mechanism. Yeah. Where sanctions will starve you out, and that'll be it. And that's the new world order. It's like running everything like a big bank, Right. But yeah, when we have these, and really military operations are entirely economically motivated, regardless of what the propaganda says and what the justifications are. There is no war without exclusive economic benefit. That's the new world order. Yeah. And so, yeah, when she's referring to like, we have to defend this new world order, she's saying like, yeah, it's no more conquest by empire, no more this. We are standing and fighting to defend the new world order. Right. And we'll send you a bill afterwards, Putin, and that'll get you. Yeah, a bill that Putin doesn't necessarily have to pay. Yeah. There are a couple things breaking in the context of this discussion here. India Today headline: historic moment, Ukraine applies for EU membership. So there you go. Yeah. Volodymyr Zelensky has signed a paper that, hey, we want to be part of the EU, as similar to being wanting to be part of NATO. And then independent.co.uk has a headline here: U.S. expelling 12 Russian diplomats from UN mission for espionage. So more sort of, signaling of separation, a breakup between... Oh my gosh. What is going on with the Facebook? Hold on. Yeah, we've got an alert. Our Facebook got hacked. Anybody in the chat, don't listen to that message that went out. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, there's a Bitcoin address being promoted by our Facebook chat. That's interesting.
The Canary Cry Facebook chat is sending out awarding. Let me read it for anybody. Awarding Ukraine and Russia. They knew we were talking about it. Yeah. The crypto investing space is rapidly changing. Impacts of Russia's invasion of Ukraine and rippling across both Wall Street and the digital currency industry. We are pleased to announce that we are giving 15 BTC as a reward for the support. No, Gonz, we are not giving away 15 Bitcoin.
Well, we don't have 15 Bitcoin, but even if we did, we wouldn't do it to this little hack here. Don't listen to the hack.
Don't listen to the hack. Don't send that. And Gonz, right now, actually, we should go ahead and take security steps.
Yeah, what happened there?
I have no idea. Somebody's in there now. Okay. Can you do that? You want to do that fast?
Facebook. I'll try.
I can try to do it. I'll go through the privacy.
Facebook is a labyrinth of frustration and hatred.
You're probably not the right person to put in charge of this.
I actually watched the Mark Zuckerberg interview over the weekend with, what's his name? The Russian guy. I forget.
Anyway. Mark Zuckerberg and the Russian guy.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg had an interview with, forget his name. Hold on, I'll look it up. Anyway, this is sort of completely not what we were planning to do here. So
no, well, we need to respond to this quickly because it's not very often that on a live broadcast,
we get totally
you can
hacked.
See that you've been hacked and you can take actions right away. So that's what we're going to do. Why don't you continue?
Yeah, okay. So,
and I will change this password.
Okay, perfect. All right, we'll mention Zuckerberg again later, but one of the things that the mainstream media, especially in the U.S. here, they're just picking up on old narratives that we haven't heard in a while. So here we go. This is CBS News talking about war in Ukraine.
Now to the war in Ukraine. The Pentagon tonight criticizing Vladimir Putin's decision to put his nuclear forces on alert as, quote, unnecessary and escalatory. Tonight, Russian forces are pushing deeper into Ukraine, but Ukrainian resistance has reportedly been fierce.
Uh-oh, what happened? Here we go.
Nearly 400,000 people have already fled the country, according to the United Nations. Lines at border crossings stretch for miles, with trains packed as they leave for bordering countries like Poland and Hungary. The U.S. and European allies are implementing tough sanctions and new flight bans. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky agreed to send a team to the Belarus border for negotiations with Russian officials. And tonight, at least 352 civilians have been confirmed killed. We have team coverage on the situation abroad and reaction here at home.
Outgunned Ukrainians repelled Russian forces for a fourth day, with the Ukrainian military saying there were successful attacks by its Turkish-made force of drones. Huge.
That's a weird clip right there, by the way. It's like a screen of some Russian convoy or something like that, and they're being blown up. Either that or it's Russian footage. But anyway, it's weird to have like stuff blow up on screen and people cheering.
Forces for a fourth day, with the Ukrainian military saying there were successful attacks by its Turkish-made force of drones.
Turkish drones.
Huge explosions lit up the sky early Sunday near the capital, Kiev. This video from a suburb of the city appears to show a line of Russian tanks and armored trucks bombed out and still smoking, an attempt by Ukrainians to slow Russian troops. Kiev's mayor says his city of almost 3 million is completely surrounded, and new satellite imagery shows hundreds of Russian military vehicles only about 40 miles away.
Go back home. You have nothing to find here.
Sunday, street fighting broke out in Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv, forcing a children's hospital to relocate to an underground bomb shelter. Early Sunday, Russian forces blew up Ukrainian airfields and fuel facilities, but their success has been limited.
Russia has now committed about two-thirds of those 150,000 troops it had massed around the border, 100,000 troops. And it has not been able to take a single major city. But you have to look at it and say they've still got 50,000 there on the border ready to commit.
Thousands of refugees are fleeing Ukraine, crowding into trains or walking miles through the night.
I just can't sleep calmly. I woke up and I cried.
Tensions are also high in Russia. In protests around the country, some people chanted no to war, and police in riot gear made arrests. In St. Petersburg and Moscow, there are long lines at ATMs following word that some Russian banks have been expelled from SWIFT, a high-security network that connects banks around the world.
That's where this is all leading, the economic warfare side of things. We have a clip here from the president. I believe she is the president, of the EU. She is Ursula von der Leyen, and this is her explaining the kind of sanctions that they are posing against Russia, the EU.
We commit to ensuring that a certain number of Russian banks are removed from SWIFT. This will ensure that these banks are disconnected from the international financial system and harm their ability to operate globally. SWIFT is the world's dominant global interbank payment system. Cutting banks off will stop them from conducting most of their financial transactions worldwide and effectively block Russian exports and imports. Second, we will stop Putin from using his war chest. We will paralyze the assets of Russia's central bank. This will freeze its transactions, and it made it impossible for the central bank to liquidate assets. And finally, we will work to prohibit Russian oligarchs from using their financial assets on our markets.
All right, so just a complete choke-off of the financial rails between Russia and presumably the East and the West, and I think that's a big theme here. I got a whole little rant about it a little bit later here. Basil, how are you looking over there? What's the prognosis?
Changing some passwords. I'm going on to the just continuing.
Okay,
just keep carrying it. I got this.
Got it. Okay, so. I'll do more of a breakdown there. But in the meantime, real quickly here, what's being pushed out in Western media in the U.S. other than the nuke fears? Well, we have TMZ over the weekend. Ukraine crisis, racism claims start to emerge. Africans can't flee. And I don't know if you guys saw this on the internet, but apparently there were some African descent people trying to flee Ukraine, especially into Poland, but they were blocked. And of course, Western media out here screaming racism. And I don't know. It's just one of those weird things where the story has to be woke in order for it to matter in the West here, apparently, especially for a place like TMZ. But there you go. That's going on. I mean, there's not much to say about that. That's bad for anybody that's experiencing this, but also it just seems to be stoking the same kind of, I guess, social cues out here in the West. And along those same lines here, this is people.com, People magazine, and their headline here: just total fiction, how Putin is using Nazi propaganda to defend invasion of Ukraine.
That has been very interesting. I don't remember if we had mentioned it or not, but the propaganda being put out. I haven't read this article you're about to, but the Russia propaganda that has been put out to justify this move by Russia is that they are going in to fight Nazis.
Right.
That there's a bunch of Nazis in Ukraine, and so they're sort of on a crusade to get rid of the Nazis in Ukraine, which it has an inkling of truth to it, in that there are neo-Nazis in Ukraine, and there are neo-Nazi paramilitaries in Ukraine.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can say that about the U.S. too. Maybe it's not as official as Ukraine, but I think it's interesting that the leftist progressive type media would take the stance against they have to, I guess, because they're anti-Putin, anti-Russia. But it's just funny how when when Russia comes out and they're like, we're doing it to take out the neo-Nazis, and then the liberal Western media is like, oh, that's not true. It can't be true. It says here, neo-Nazism is one of the cultural claims behind President Vladimir Putin's decision to invade Ukraine, despite evidence that the assertion is false. See, it's interesting that they would debunk such an idea that there's a neo-Nazi problem in Ukraine, but they won't use the same standards for the U.S., when it comes to like, oh, the neo-Nazis are going to take over, especially Republicans and the white nationalists, which are equal to neo-Nazis. Quote, in terms of all of the sort of constituent parts of Nazism, none of that is in play in Ukraine, Jonathan Deckel-Chen, a history professor at Jerusalem's Hebrew University, told the Associated Press. Quote, territorial ambitions, state-sponsored terrorism, rampant anti-Semitism, bigotry, a dictatorship, none of those are in play, he added. So this is just total fiction. None of those are in play in Ukraine, is what I think he means. Russia began its invasion of Ukraine earlier this week, according to Ukraine government. The attack is still evolving, but explosions and airstrikes have been reported, with threats mounting against the capital, Kyiv, or a city of 2.8 million. In a speech Monday, Putin suggested that NATO countries are backing neo-Nazis in Russia's latest attempt to delegitimize Ukrainian nationalism. Quote, it is not surprising that Ukrainian society was faced with the rise of far-right nationalism, which rapidly developed into aggressive Russophobia and neo-Nazism, Putin said, per the Washington Post. In an address on Thursday, Putin said the decision to send troops into Ukraine was done to help denazify the country. He also insisted that Ukraine has historic ties to Russia, and he's acting in the interest of so-called peacekeeping. Quote, to this end, we will seek to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine and put to justice those that committed numerous bloody crimes against peaceful people, including Russian nationals, Putin said. Interesting take. per Russia's state news agency. But there are several flaws to the Russian president's claims. And this is according to People here. There is no evidence to suggest widespread support in Ukraine's government, military or electorate for extreme right nationalism, as described by Putin before Russia's invasion. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who is Jewish, revealed during a trip to Jerusalem in 2020 that 3 of his great-uncles died in the Holocaust during World War II, according to the Post. His grandfather survived. Many other Ukrainians lost family members in World War II as well. More than 20 million Soviet soldiers were killed during the war, according to the World War II Museum in New Orleans. And Nazi Germany occupied the region now known as Ukraine. It goes further here. Let's got a spot here. Putin is preying on the existence of right-wing groups within Ukraine as an avenue to delegitimize Ukraine as a nation. For instance, Ukrainian National Guard is home to the Azov Battalion, a force populated by neo-Nazis, according to NBC News. Under U.S. appropriations laws, spending in support of the Azov Battalion is banned. Several nationalist paramilitary groups operate in the country, including the Azov Movement and Right Sector, per the Post. During the most recent Ukrainian parliamentary elections in 2019, however, ultra-nationalist right-wing parties failed to gain any power in the nation's 450-member legislature. Okay, so again, I bring this up just to point out the way things are being shaped in the U.S. here, especially like liberal Hollywood media. You know, they're really taking a particular stance here, which, again, is so fascinating because, you know, even in the article, they're like, yeah, I mean, these far-right neo-Nazi groups exist, but it's nothing like Putin says, which is so funny because throughout the last 5-6 years, they've been like, this neo-Nazi problem in America needs to be eradicated. And then some dictator comes out and says, hey, we're going to invade Ukraine. We're not really invading. We're protecting ourselves. And we're freeing Ukraine from these neo-Nazis. And they're like, nonsense. There's no neo-Nazis in Ukraine.
Well, it's funny. You're right. I mean, they say the same. And it's not just the U.S. Of course, the U.S. is part of it.
Yeah.
But they've been saying it about Europe, too. With all these, anti-mandate protests, things like that. It's always, it's just a bunch of Nazis. A bunch of Nazis don't want the government telling you how to live. Of course, that's it's kind of that coming around and biting them in the butt. Yeah. Another opportunity for people who are consuming this news, like, hey, wait a second. Things aren't... Are you minimizing Nazi presence?
This is like a dream come true for the left progressive group, for some guy to be like, we're taking out neo-Nazism. We're coming in guns blazing. This is like a dream.
Yeah, they should love Putin. Come on, commies.
I just thought it was very interesting the way things are being shaped by the liberal left media. But, there's a problem reaction solution here. And do you remember when Elon Musk said this?
The danger of AI is much greater than the danger of nuclear warheads by a lot.
Danger of AI is way more threatening than the danger of nuclear warheads.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah. So that's why Elon is connecting all of us, especially those in Ukraine, because of this next story. You want to take it, or are you still trying to figure stuff out over there?
No, I'm just kind of sweeping up in the settings. So
okay.
I think you need to go change your Facebook password just in case.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you should. Right. I don't know which account they used to get in there. It could have been yours or mine. So we need to just do that. Okay, this is coming from CNN.com. The headline is SpaceX Starlink satellite internet service activated in Ukraine, says Elon Musk. SpaceX founder and CEO Elon Musk announced Saturday that the company's Starlink internet satellites are now active in Ukraine as the country suffers power outages due to Russia's invasion. Quote, Starlink service is now active in Ukraine, Musk, the Tesla CEO, tweeted. Quote, more terminals en route. Ukraine's vice prime minister asked Musk to provide internet service to the country amid Russian attacks, and Musk delivered, according to a Twitter exchange between the two on Saturday. Mykola Fedorov, who is also Ukraine's Minister of Digital Transformation, tweeted to Musk, quote, while you try to colonize Mars, Russia tried to occupy Ukraine. While your rockets successfully land from space, Russia rockets attack Ukrainian civil people. We ask you to provide Ukraine with Starlink stations and to address the Russians to stand. Address sane Russians to stand. Starlink is a satellite-based internet constellation intended to blanket the planet in high-speed broadband and could potentially bring connectivity to billions of people who still lack reliable internet access. The idea requires swarms of satellites. Yeah, we know how it works. The Twitter exchange took place as Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered his country's deterrence forces, which include nuclear arms, to be placed on high alert. Ukrainian Deputy Interior Minister Evgeny Yenin said talks between Russia and Ukraine delegations will take place Monday morning. There have been intermittent power outages in Ukraine, but the internet is still generally available, a senior U.S. defense official told reporters on Saturday. The Starlink system was recently used in Tonga in the South Pacific. Yeah, great. Well, we're talking about Ukraine, so there you go. It's interesting because he can fly his satellites over Ukraine, but they still need their Starlink receivers.
Yeah, he's got to ship them out. He's got a supply chain issue.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good sales opportunity. Is he giving these receivers away for free, or does he now have a lucrative sales contract with Ukraine?
I don't know. We'll have to find out, I guess. But I just think it's convenient that we have this crisis. We have a war breaking out, and Elon is like, oh, my Starlink can give all of them internet. Mm-hmm. We don't need Putin's.
Well, it's an opportunity to show off the capabilities, the problems that his system can fix. Which, as I understand it, is not many problems. I hear Starlink still has some issues, but something's better than nothing, I guess.
Well, he said we're all connected. We're all connected.
You are connected.
Yeah, see?
You are.
Don't you trust him? Don't you trust Elon?
That's the point. You are connected.
Yeah. Well, there's more to break down here, but I think we're going to have a little intro here. Tell us a little bit about your weekend, Basil, and then we'll go back into it. You want to?
Yeah, well, it's Monday, Gonz.
Oh, it is Monday. You're right.
Gary, what day is it? Monday.
That's right. It's Monday o'clock, and time for a little skate update.
Oh, good. Woo! Hold on. What happened to my skate thing? I have it. I know I have it here. Here it is.
Okay.
Howdy, partner.
Do you even skate?
That's right. The skating experiment continues, and I want to give a shout out to all the Canarians out there who have been sending me messages, sending me pictures of their renewed love of roller skating or blading. Either way, roller splading.
Roller snorting.
Yes, we're starting a revolution, Gonz. The revolution is now, and it will not be televised as missiles fly and tanks roll and boots march and jets zoom. The Canarians are just skating around, minding their own business, which is nice. Went skating at adult night, which is a lot less sinful as it sounds. Just a bunch of grown adults roller skating. I don't have a whole new breakdown for you, Gonz, except for I have attempted the backwards skate.
Oh,
I have begun my journey as a backwards rollerblader, and let me tell you, first try, total failure. Fell right onto my face. Got a nice new tear in my sweatpants, my pandemic skating sweatpants, which makes it look just so much more hardcore when I'm zooming around out there. Accidents were lower, but the crowds were still high, Gonz. And let me tell you, if you think that the skater alpha boys have a problem with new skaters going forwards, it has riled up a whole new civil war when you try going backwards. It's incredibly embarrassing. And see, the problem with the backwards skating is if you're skating forwards and you're not very good, you know, people are zooming by you, but you're not really having to come face to face with the shameful looks or the disapproving sneers. When you're roller skating backwards, you are looking every single malcontent in the eyes as they roll past you and mock you with their pointy fingers and their whispers of shame. But overall, I'll have to keep working on it. I'm trying to think if there was like a sociological aspect besides the backward skating shame.
You gotta. What you should do is print out street team art flyers, yeah, and get a little, either get them sticky or somehow get them sticky. And every time you tap someone on the back,
how could I possibly get a piece of paper sticky, Gonz? What do you think this is, the future?
Yeah, well, you can probably figure something out. And then every time you go by and you tap someone, you're turning them into a skating advertisement for CanaryCry News Talk.
Yeah, I hear you. Let me twist that just a little bit.
Sure.
The skate rink is a perfect place to hang up the street team flyers, folks.
There you go.
That's what I want to be seeing. Go to CanaryCry.StreetTeam.com. No matter where you are, there's a bunch of cool, funny, and tantalizing posters that you can print out, or flyers rather, print out, hang them up all over your town, including the skate rink. The skate rink is primed. Skate rinks traditionally filled with independent thinkers, the weirdos, the I'm trying to think of that Steve Jobs commercial. No, I can't. Anyways, do that. Although I will say, the skate mommies, very supportive of my backward skating. Not physically supportive, but emotionally supportive.
Emotionally, huh?
Yes,
interesting.
I did when I took my first face plant with the backward skating practice. It was a skate mommy who came up and said, "You got it. You're
going some encouraging words.
We all had to learn sometime."
Right.
I said, "Thank you, skate mommy." And then an alpha boy zoomed by and threw some gasoline on me and lit me on fire and laughed.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, sorry, just emotionally. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought that was real.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I have for you today. This has been your Church of Skatin'.
Okay, excellent. Well, not much reporting from my front other than taking care of family and trying to get over whatever the thing is here. This little bug that hit us. So yeah. There's not much for me to talk about.
Everybody's fine though now?
Everybody's fine.
Good?
Oh, it did sweep through the family, like I mentioned. I had it, and then the kids got it. They were up all night, and then wife got it. Actually, wife got it the worst.
Ooh.
She was the last one to get it, and she got it the worst, and she got the longest.
the Deltacron version of whatever he had. Yeah. The combo version.
Right. Yeah. Yes. The mutated super strength one. So... but thank you for all the prayers and the notes again. We're feeling better, and we're back to business here today.
And with that, back to business is right, Gonz, because we've got some executive producers to thank for making this episode possible. We are on the value for value model, folks, which, if you haven't heard, is the one and only way for independent media to stay completely independent. Even if you have a piece of independent media taking dollars from advertising companies, it's independent in the way that, like, Fox News is not telling them what to say, but they are still beholden to corporate interests when you are relying on corporate money, which we rely on no corporate money here at Canary Cry News Talk. We are entirely funded, produced, kept alive by our producers. And who are those producers? Well, they're people just like you, listeners all over the world, who see value in what we do and not want to, but they realize that it is the responsibility of the producers to keep the show going, because without the producers, there is no show. So we want to thank our executive producers for this episode 452. We are also including the executive producers from 451, which was our emergency ripcord show we had to do on Friday. So we'll be thanking producers from both episodes. Yep. So our executive producers for this episode are Hanah G, MORV, and Spears Desert.
All right. Hold on. You said it too fast. The little thingies can't keep up.
Oh, okay. Let's hit them with that executive producer jingle.
Where'd you find this?
There we go. Thank you very much. And people in the chat and people listening all over the world, thank the executive producers and thank God for them because they are doing a lot to keep this show around. We'll be thanking them again, as well as the rest of our producers during the next break. But that'll be in a little bit, so stick around.
All right. Well, we're ahead of schedule a little bit, Basil, but let's just keep piling.
We should stay ahead of schedule. Let's do that.
Let's try that.
All right.
Let's find out how that goes.
Exactly. We're going to. We got to check in with our good friend Flippy.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
All right, folks, it's time for the Flippy update. If you're new to the show, Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses, and someday becoming our best friends. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways the robots are taking over the world and just how there's nothing we can do about it. So today, by the way, just checking in. Did you change your Facebook password?
I'm trying, yeah.
Oh, that's not a good answer, but okay. That's not what I was looking for. Keep trying.
Keep trying.
I lost the Flippy update. Where did it go?
That's not
Here
good.
It is. Okay. This Flippy update is coming from thedrive.com. Thedrive.com. It was also covered in other places, but this was the earliest notice I could find. And the headline here, a Chinese satellite just grappled another and pulled it out of orbit. Dun, dun, dun. Yes.
Sounds scary.
Mm-hmm. Well, this happened last month, actually, but somehow it evaded our detectors, Gonz.
I did see this, but I thought we were kind of like we had covered the Chinese robot arm thing. So.
Well, here's the thing. Okay. Yes, we have talked about Flippy, the Chinese space robot arm, and we've talked about the war between the robot arms in space. Of course, Canadarm2, the next biggest space arm. But we had heard lots of warnings about the capabilities of these satellites with robot arms on them. But we had not heard this piece of news, or we didn't bring this piece of news at least. So let's get into it. A Chinese satellite was observed grabbing another satellite and pulling it out of its normal geosynchronous synchronous orbit and into a, quote, super graveyard drift orbit. The maneuver raises questions. Yeah. Not even just graveyard drift orbit, super graveyard drift orbit. The maneuver raises questions about the potential applications of these types of satellites designed to maneuver close to other satellites for inspection or manipulation, and adds to growing concerns about China's space program overall. On January 22nd, China's Shijian-21 satellite, or SJ-21, disappeared from its regular position in orbit during daylight hours when observations were difficult to make with optical telescopes. SJ-21 was then observed executing a, quote, large maneuver to bring it closely alongside another satellite, a dead Beidou navigation system satellite. SJ-21 then pulled the dead satellite out of its normal geosynchronous orbit and placed it a few hundred miles away in what is known as a graveyard orbit. These distant orbits are designated for defunct satellites at the end of their lives and are intended to reduce the risk of collision with operational assets. The unusual maneuver was observed by telescopes belonging to commercial space awareness firm Exo Solutions during a webinar hosted by the Center for Strategic and International Studies this week. Exo Solutions' Brian Flueling said the SJ-21 satellite, quote, appears to be functioning as a space tug. Space Command did not respond to a request for comment. Breaking defense reports. Space Force has been increasingly turning to commercial space companies to provide a variety of data and services to boost its situational awareness. And to that end, Joint Task Force Space Defense awarded Exo Solutions a contract in 2021 to provide space domain data. Quote, comms, data relay, remote sensing, and even ISR and some other things. Capabilities are increasingly available in the commercial market, Space Force Deputy Lieutenant General David Thompson said last year. And it goes back, gives some background on SJ-21, which we already know about. But yeah, SJ-21, the satellite armed with China's robotic arms, is just innocently... Look, Gonz, this isn't a military concern. This isn't an aggressive war maneuver. This is simply Flippy, our dear, dear space gravedigger, doing his solemn duty to put dead satellites where they belong, in dead orbit. Or he's just practicing on sort of dead satellites in order to completely, take over the satellite space domain. And if any of these U.S. satellites or maybe these SpaceX, Tesla, Starlink satellites start getting uppity, you've got SJ-21, the Chinese policeman in space, come to take them out of orbit and disrupt communications and the like down on Earth. So pretty concerning to watch it happen. However, we have talked about the capabilities, the possibilities of arming, giving satellites arms, big, strong, muscly robot arms. I think if SpaceX, if Elon Musk, he better watch out giving aid to Ukraine in the form of Starlink satellites, because apparently China is ready and willing to put those Starlink satellites in their graves.
Well, the robot literal arms race is, at least at the space level, is taking hold here. I do have that space, since you mentioned Space Force there.
Space Force. Space Force.
Spaceship.
Space Force.
That's right. And yes, Gonz, before you bring it up, I do know that the show Space Force had a scene where a Chinese satellite had an arm and snipped off somebody else's satellites.
The American satellites.
Yes, the American satellite.
Dismembered the American satellites.
So, essentially this SJ-21 is sort of like an orbital janitor, kind of going around pulling dead satellites out and putting it in a graveyard. But, Gonz, as those who are aware of the true historical roles of the ninja will know that ninja were rarely sort of dressed up in the ninja costume and sneaking around as they are so commonly depicted. Ninjas more commonly would disguise themselves like janitors or gardeners or something to infiltrate a noble's estate. And when the noble came close to the ninja while he was pruning the bushes, boom, that's when the ninja struck. So I'm saying I think the Chinese have a satellite ninja here.
Well, ninjas are historically Japanese, so
Indeed.
Thanks, Chinese, for stealing our culture.
They stole some more IP, bro. I'm telling you, that's how they operate.
Yeah, although in Japanese folklore, the ninja descended from a demon that was half man, half crow. Interestingly enough.
Yes, I did know that, actually. Yeah. I learned that from a video game.
Oh, so there you go.
don't let anybody tell you that you can't learn things from video games.
Yeah, well, That's good. Well, we'll see more, I guess, stuff from robot arms in space.
Well, you know, we
where's our arm to push back?
Well, we're using Canada's arm. The U.S. We don't even have our own arm.
Right.
Canada Arm 2 right now is supposed to be defending our satellites.
Yeah, where's Canada Arm 2? Is it busy trying
Come on, Canada.
Busy trying to hold back truckers?
Yes, the Canada Arm 2 is too busy towing freedom-loving trucker satellites.
That would have been next level if Trudeau was like, all right, deploy Canada Arm, and the giant robot arm from space took away all the truckers from Ottawa. Yeah. Then I would be like, wow, all right.
You know, I wouldn't put it past him. He had those emergency powers.
I know. Could have done it, yeah.
And, you know, when it comes to space arms, we've commonly seen space arms on shuttles and the ISS.
Right.
But not very often on satellites, more of a remote situation. So Canada needs to pump out a few more Canada arms so we can equip our satellites. And then, you know, if the Chinese arm comes by to try to drag us to the grave, then we have the epic space-based robot arm wrestling competition.
Or the firmament grab. Land. I was going to say land grab, but it's not really land. Firmament.
Yes.
Firmament plots. I don't know.
It's the New World Order, China. You can't try to take over space with your arm. You got to buy it fair and square.
You got to arm wrestle for it.
Or steal it, something. All right. Well, that's it for the Flippy update today.
Okay. Well, let's real quickly here talk about a party. CanaryCry.Party.
Party time.
Find the live stream, join the email list, look for the street team posters, find other Canarians, and all the ways you can produce the show and join the Canary Cry family.
Welcome to CanaryCry.Party. It's the place you wanna be. So stay. Welcome to CanaryCry. Gameplay, CanaryCry.Party.
Indeed. So go check it out, especially you YouTubers. You'll be getting half the show today on YouTube, so make sure to find another location to follow the show. And if you would, go ahead and check out Ravel Podcast, my other podcast with Dr. Christopher Ryan Gates, the PhD in Biblical Interpretation. And just see what we're getting into over there. Scripture, society, and scandal. We're talking to artists these days. And if anybody's heard of the artist Full of Eyes on Instagram, he's a very cool artist, Christian artist who really has very powerful work. Some of his work I've been more affected by than any other sort of Christian art, except for Canary Cry artists, who are the best, of course. But yeah, you can check out Full of Eyes. Check out his Instagram channel. And if you want to know what he has to say about things, go listen to Ravel Podcasts. It's our most recent episode. This guy, we had a wonderful conversation because he is just getting into the world of virtual reality art, and very sort of well-versed fella when it comes to technology. And we have a pretty deep conversation about technology and its role in human spirituality, and whether that is a good thing or a bad thing, or of course could be either. But very good conversation. Go check it out. Ravel Podcast. There's 2 Ravel Podcasts. Mine's the good one. It's got my name on it. Go do that one.
All right. Well, are you done with that?
Nah, that's it, except for Uprising 333 in Twitch says, checked it out. Pretty good, Basil. Y'all have a blessed way with words. Good listening. So there you go. Go listen to Ravel. Uprising 333 gives it a thumbs up.
All right. So part of, we're going to get back to the stories here. Part of the big conversation with all of Ukraine is Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. It is becoming a topic. So we'll talk about that. But before we get to the Russian stuff and the Ukraine stuff, why don't you do this Cointelegraph thing with money and blockchain?
Blockchain.
Yeah, this was a fun little thing.
It's a thing, yeah.
In the ongoing conversation about cryptocurrencies, CBDCs, that's the central bank digital currencies, and sort of the national
international.
Yeah, well, international for us, but the separate nations attempts
each nation,
at sort of implementing cryptocurrency into their own economies. It's coming from Cointelegraph.com. Crypto Twitter is not happy with the name and logo of Jamaica's CBDC. The Bank of Jamaica revealed the name of its upcoming central bank digital currency after a design competition, only to receive backlash from the local crypto community. The Central Bank of Jamaica announced on Twitter that it had chosen the name Jamdex. Jamdex, along with the tagline and logo for its upcoming CBDC, scheduled for late 2022.
Do you know what the tagline and logo, which is in the subheading here, is? No cash, no problem.
Pretty cool.
Thanks, Jamdex.
Pretty cool thing for your country's government to say.
No cash, no problem.
While the project is promising, its name could be easily misconstrued as a decentralized exchange. That's what a DEX is, DEX, decentralized exchange. And its logo is, quote, terrible, according to the community's response. The name Jamdex is said to be taken from Jamaican Digital Exchange with the slogan, quote, no cash, no problem. It was picked as the winner by the central bank following a competition. Oh, the bank picked it. They didn't even do like a vote or anything.
No. They couldn't hire their own design team. They had to do a competition. Come on.
Yeah, come on. While the winner took 600,000 Jamaican dollars home. Wow, that's $3,800.
Hey.
The community is somewhat left unsatisfied with the result. Here's they got some tweets here. Yeah, they got the picture of the logo, the bad name, the bad catchphrase. And Jamian Jones responds, is it a CBDC or a DEX? I appreciate the attempt at crowdsourcing the design. Fairly Web3 of you, but this logo cannot work. It should have been put to a broader voting mechanism. The panelists let you down here big time. Ooh, burn. In the cryptocurrency world, a DEX refers to a decentralized exchange. A decentralized exchange is an exchange where there is no centralized authority, but rather a network of peer-to-peer nodes. These nodes allow users to trade directly with one another without any intermediaries involved. In this model, the control of your funds lies in your hands, and you trade directly with another person. The local crypto community was eager to see the rejected designs. And then they have some tweets here. Can we see some of the rejected designs? Some of the other competitors were not happy with the end result either. Then they have, I can't tell if this was this one of the other?
Yeah. There's one where basically they take the Bitcoin coin and they just put Bank of Jamaica on it with an alligator holding a key.
Yeah.
Lizard people running it. That's why they can't come up with, they need the people to make the logo because, lizard people don't have any creativity.
Yeah. And then they just kind of list a whole bunch of complaints people had on Twitter here.
Yeah.
All amounting to the same thing.
Can you imagine the U.S. doing something like this?
Having a contest and
the Fed saying, hey, why don't you guys come up with the name and logo for our CBDC?
Yeah, no. See, the problem is because the logo and the stuff like that to a currency is way more important to like New World Order occultists than it is. They have to put their symbology in there. They gotta do make the sacrifices and the power up the spell orb in order for the logo to really do what they want it to do.
Yeah.
As reported by Cointelegraph, Jamaica revealed its plans to launch the CBDC in 2020 as an alternative to cryptocurrencies, making it one of the Caribbean countries to do so, the country's central bank distinguished CBDCs and other cryptocurrencies, stating that cryptocurrencies do not entirely fulfill the requirements of money and are not always backed by a core authority. Yeah, no kidding.
That's the point. That's the whole point.
Nigeria was one of the first. Yeah, okay, so there you go.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, good try, Jamaica.
Good try. And we'll come full circle because I have a report from the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. They have a little update on CBDCs, so we'll get back to that. But to get back there, let me just run through some stuff real quick here. Reuters.com reported that 2 of Russia's billionaires call for peace in Ukraine. So now we got, of course, these billionaires are like, hey, wait a minute. Like half of our business is with the West, so they're going to be against this whole thing here. But it says billionaire Friedman, that's Mikhail Friedman, who was born in Western Ukraine, told staff in a letter that the conflict was driving a wedge between the 2 Eastern Slav peoples of Russia and Ukraine, who have been brothers for centuries. He goes into some personal stuff there about how he was born in Western Ukraine and lived there till he was 17. Other Russian billionaire Oleg Deripaska used a post on Telegram to call for peace talks to begin, quote, as fast as possible, quote, peace is very important, says Deripaska, who is the founder of Russian aluminum giant Rusal, in which he still owns a stake via his shares in its parent company, N Plus Group. So, yeah, of course, these huge energy and resource people are going to be, wherever the money works best is where they want to be. Another Moscow billionaire. Oh, this was interesting in the Reuters story. Another Moscow billionaire told Reuters on condition of anonymity that the war was going to be a catastrophe. Quote, it's going to be catastrophic in all senses for the economy, for relations with the rest of the world, for the politician or the political situation, the billionaire said. The billionaires who gathered for a meeting with Putin in the Kremlin on Thursday were silent, he said. Quote, businessmen understand very well the consequences, but who is asking the opinion of business about this? So there you go. Apparently, this whole thing is not good, according to Reuters and some billionaires that have their ear.
And the fun thing about this, these billionaires are not just billionaires. No. Russian billionaires are part of the oligarch
They're the
class.
oligarch, right.
Yeah, and so these are guys who owe much of their fortune, if not all of it. But, there's a few hundred or thousand of these guys. But, these guys owe their fortune to Putin, and you don't get to become an oligarch without some sort of loyalty to Putin, doing favors for Putin taking, a certain percentage of your business. That's the whole point of the oligarch class, is sort of an elite conspirator group with
an aristocracy kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's an aristocracy based on wealth. And so, an oligarch to come out against Putin is not nothing. Like, that's not, if it's like if an American billionaire says something mean about the president, like, it doesn't really matter that much.
Well, there's a lot of Russian people that are pushing back against what Putin's doing too, like publicly
there's
protesting
protests,
and all that.
There's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But they're not, billionaires who owe their fortune to Putin and made their fortune by executing Putin's orders and doing that kind of thing. So to have the oligarchs speaking out is a big deal. And I feel like, well, I don't know, it doesn't matter what I feel. The case has been that they don't speak out because, they want to protect their status. They want to protect their money. They want to protect perhaps even just the power structure as a whole. Even if they don't agree with what Putin is doing. But it's going to be one of those things, I think, where one of them comes out, and that's going to sort of allow the others to come out. There's going to be a real loyalty battle going on in Russia.
Well, yeah.
But, they're also responding or feeling the pain from Putin sort of causing issues with their money. I mean, the ruble totally collapsed. Mm-hmm. Their economy is not looking great. The sanctions are bad for the oligarchs. It's a whole mess. And Putin may be about to learn a lesson that, you can gain a lot of loyalty by making, rich people richer, but you can also lose that loyalty if things turn around, if the market turns too hard. So It's an interesting situation that is not nothing.
I tend to think Putin already kind of knows what he's doing, because if in terms of some kind of infrastructure change, and clearly, and this gets to my bigger point here as I go into the rabbit hole and go on a little rant, is the changing structure of the world and how we're moving from a unipolar to a multipolar type of situation, or moving back to a multipolar in many ways. But it is interesting. The economy is like the biggest thing here being impacted. It's the common denominator between everything. Ottawa, COVID, like all of it has to do with supply chains and money infrastructure, all the rails of money worldwide. So I feel like Putin already knows that there's going to be a big reset, and there are probably billionaires whose businesses in terms of the future are jeopardized, maybe even compromised under the new system that they're going to roll out there, So I don't know, but it is interesting to see turmoil from within, at least what we're being told here from Reuters, which again could be propaganda in its own right. But it's because of the ruble situation, Russia is being not forced per se, but they're kind of conveniently moving towards Bitcoin and crypto. But that's also happening in Ukraine, which is very fascinating. So this is yahoo.com. Mirroring an Engadget article. Ukraine raises over $13 million in crypto to help fight Russian invasion. And I won't read it here because it's just numbers and stuff like that, but you get the point. The headline tells a story. But I will show you, for people that are sort of learning about crypto and all that kind of stuff, the difference in why this is so interesting with all the move towards crypto. There was a tweet by Mikhailo Fedorov, who is the vice prime minister of Ukraine, and he posted a Bitcoin address, an Ethereum address, and a USDT Tether address that's on Tron. I don't know why he chose the Tron version, the TRC20, but
they love Tron over there.
Who uses Tron? It's such a scam. Okay, anyway, but what you can do as a public person, you and anybody in the public can do, is just go to the blockchain ledger and take a look at how much Bitcoin this address is receiving. And so I did that. I have the blockchain address here. I'm going to go ahead and refresh. There was 159 Bitcoin in this wallet as of me pulling it up. Let me refresh it to see if there's any more or any less. 161.6. So a couple more Bitcoin coming in since I pulled this page up. It's the Bitcoin Explorer. You can see all the transactions taking place. And this is the big change happening in terms of transparency. We've been talking about the Great Reset and the cyber pandemic and all that kind of stuff. Well, if things are public, less likely to be hacked and whatnot. So, and also they have their Ethereum address, which again, you can go to etherscan.io and you can take a look at how much crypto is in there. There's about 500,000 in crypto or in Ethereum based coins here. Let's see. It shows us a list and it tells us here that $300,000 in Tether, $100,000 in Starlink. Interesting. And Dogs of Elon and whatever. So all of it's public, which is the very interesting thing about this. And then, of course, we know what they're going to try to do. The New World Order, in terms of Russia, in terms of Bitcoin, Market Insider, mirrored on MSN, the U.S. may target Russia's access to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as possible further sanctions amid Ukraine war. How are they going to do that, Basil? How are they going to make prevent Russia from accessing Bitcoin?
I wouldn't know how. You'd have to take down their whole internet.
That's kind of the only thing I can think of.
I don't know how you would even do that.
Yeah, I mean, the article talks about the Western sanctions squeezing Russia's all the jargon that we've heard about the sanctions, but they don't really get into exactly how they would even control Bitcoin in Russia, which you really can't do. That's kind of the whole point with Bitcoin and crypto. But I think it's all part of the Great Reset as we go on here. And then we have BBC, West to cut some Russian banks off from SWIFT. I think a couple episodes ago, we were talking about SWIFT, and I mistakenly said strike. So it's possible a few episodes ago, we talked about strike as SWIFT, but I meant SWIFT.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Just as a mention here. But also, I was reminded of this article or this sentiment that's out there. This is from AmericanBanker.com from March of 2016, and the article is, "Will the blockchain replace SWIFT?" And it was written by Chris Skinner, and he basically argued that, quote, "the coding behind virtual currency, Bitcoin, could also prove to be enormously transformational, potentially even replacing the SWIFT network for interbank payments." And so this idea has been out there that Bitcoin will replace SWIFT in its purpose, which is kind of like, which might happen here as we move forward. And in this article from 2016, it cites Mark Andreessen, and he says that he told Bloomberg in 2014, quote, "We have a chance to rebuild the system. Financial transactions are just numbers. It's just information." And yes, so that sentiment's been out there, and those of you in the XRP army are very excited right now, because that's been kind of it's been kind of like a quasi QAnon talk with XRP Ripple being some kind of quantum financial network that will replace SWIFT. Right. That's been all the talk in the rumor mill. So we'll see what happens there. But okay, let me just roll through this and keep moving. How am I doing on time? Doing good? Okay.
Doing fine. I'm just continuing to do a little security check on all of our stuff here.
This is Business Insider headline. "We really did hit peak stupid. Elite investors on Wall Street say privately that the market is about to undergo a cataclysmic shift, and many won't survive the washout." So two possibilities here. One, he's right. We're about to see some kind of crazy reset with the American economy, which may be tied to all the stuff happening in Russia. Or we're about to rally like crazy, right? Because if an insider says, "Oh, it's going to go down," retail starts selling because, "Oh, we're going to crash." But then usually the opposite happens, right? So just keeping that in mind here, because all of this, I think, is setting up for this transition into the International Monetary Fund, CBDCs, and this was published on February 9th. The future of money. This is straight off the International Monetary Fund website. Gearing up for central bank digital currency. And it's Kristalina Georgieva, her speech, the IMF Managing Director, Atlantic Council, Washington, D.C. So I have a few things highlighted from her speech. She said, quote, "We have moved beyond conceptual discussions of CBDCs, and we are now in the phase of experimentation. Central banks are rolling up their sleeves and familiarizing themselves with the bits and bytes of digital money. These are still early days for CBDCs, and we don't quite know how far and how fast they will go. What we know is that central banks are building capacity to harness new technologies to be ready for what may lie ahead. If CBDCs are designed prudently, they can potentially offer more resilience, more safety, greater availability, and lower costs than private forms of digital money. That is clearly the case when compared to unbacked crypto assets that are inherently volatile, and even the better managed and regulated stablecoins may not be quite a match against a stable and well-designed central bank digital currency." Yay! All told, around 100 countries are now exploring it. And it lists a bunch of CBDCs, and then they have 3 lessons that they've taken away from what they've done so far. Lesson number 1, no one size fits all. So you can't just have one set of CBDC. It's got to be sort of regionally tailored. Lesson number 2, financial stability and privacy considerations are paramount to the design of CBDCs. Oh, you don't say. Privacy is a concern, apparently. It says here that smaller holdings, limits on holdings of CBDCs also helps meet people's desire for privacy while guarding against illicit financial flows. Smaller holdings are allowed without the need for full identification if the risks of money laundering and terrorist financing are low. This could be a boon for financial inclusion. At the same time, larger transactions and holdings require more stringent checks, as you would expect if you deposit a bag of cash at the bank. So Again, just moving over the same kind of rules that are in place in the banking system now over to the CBDC thing. In many countries, privacy concerns are a potential deal breaker when it comes to CBDC legislation and adoption. So it's vital that policymakers get the mix right. So they already know that privacy is going to be a problem here. And that brings her to lesson number 3, which is balance. We must balance in order for everybody to enjoy CBDCs. And then she talks about working hard. And she says, fittingly, even the great inventor Thomas Edison acknowledged that, quote, there is no substitute for hard work. And this is what we emphasize at the IMF. This hard work has already advanced. We are supporting countries in their CBDC experiments. She keeps saying experiments.
Yeah.
She's admitting that this is one big experiment to understand big picture trade-offs, blah, 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 about digital money. So the IMF is ready to roll out CBDCs, but we're still in the experimental phase. And I think this is part of a greater agenda to reset the entire world economy. And to kind of explain or illustrate the fact, I'm going to run through real quick some rabbit hole stuff here.
Come, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
If you recall the Trump Planet or Planet Trump cover from The Economist magazine back in late 2016, they talked about it as the world in 2017, and they had the 8 tarot cards there on the cover. I think they laid out much more than just 2017. But the Tower card, which is the first card, is the card I want to focus on because I think it explains quite a bit here. And my sociology education, my college education came through, Basil, as I was looking at this Tower card. So historically, or just not historically, but just in terms of people commenting on the Tower card, occultists and whatnot, they all consider the Tower card, the lightning that's coming down from the top, to represent God or divine inspiration or revelation. There's other cards that are, the other Tower cards all depict this lightning that's coming down from heaven, and this power that's coming down and striking the tower. And I have a picture here of it's an Etsy thing here, the Tower card, and in this particular one from the Arcana, it depicts the Tower card with the lightning coming from an all-seeing eye at the top there. So, it's interesting that the occultists would consider this lightning coming from God, when biblically speaking, we have Luke 10:18 where it talks about, I saw Satan fall like lightning, right? So it's kind of the opposition there.
It's the connection with Prometheus, yeah, and stealing the fire, bringing it down, bringing knowledge to man, falling like Lucifer. It's all kind of connected,
right?
And of course, when they say God, they don't mean Yahweh.
No,
they mean
their God,
whatever is above Yahweh.
Turns out to be part of the beast system there. So yes, so it's interesting how there's that direct flippening or the opposite, which is common with the occult. And so you look at this card and the tower. So I've also seen people talk about the occultists and Arcana people say like, hey, this is a Tower of Babel type of thing where God strikes the tower and breaks it down, for certain change to happen or whatever. And the tower in the Tower card on the Economist cover for Trump Planet is interesting because in the card you have the hammer and sickle flag on the left, a crowd of people holding the hammer and sickle flag, which is sort of the East, right? The China-Russia communist alliance kind of thing. And then you have a crowd on the other side, on the right side, representing the West through Christianity, because they have a big cross with the guy hanging on it, which I'm assuming is Christianity. But the tower is interesting because it's got the 95 Theses hammered on to, nailed to the door, right? And what was the year there? 1517. Right. Martin Luther nailed the 95 Theses or proposition, which is sort of the beginning of Protestantism breaking away from the Catholic Church, right? That was a big moment. And so the tower, I think, represents capitalism that sprang from Protestantism. And I say that directly, again, my sociology education coming through here, because I remembered that I had to read a sociologist, a turn-of-the-century sociologist named Max Weber back in college. And Max Weber who lived from 1864 to 1920. He wrote a book called Protestantism and the Rise of Capitalism. And in it, he argues that the work ethic that Protestantism brought, specifically through Calvinism, and he goes through a whole thing. It's very complex what he came up with. But he shows how that sentiment or that milieu brought about Western capitalism, especially in the U.S. And then, of course, now we are living in this unipolar, or we have been living in a unipolar world where the Western capitalist democracy rules all commerce all over the world. And that's the New World Order that was mentioned before. But now with the rise of Russia in the East, you have the splitting, right? Or if you look at the tower card here, you have the splitting and of that Protestantism being destroyed, which we've been talking about, the Great Reset, the stakeholder capitalism and all this kind of stuff, which is sort of a masked communism or socialism. But I think something to keep in mind is that in one of the occult depictions of the tower card, two of the entities are falling out of the building. They're jumping out of the building. Ooh. And they're being destroyed. And so if we follow that pattern, the tower card on the Trump card, the two sides, the East and the West, communist East, Christian ethic West, they're both going to fall. Is kind of the message here with the tower thing. It's gonna come at the precipice of Western democracy. That's going to be the central point of the battle, but both will fall and a new thing will rise. And that's kind of, I don't know. I get the feeling that that's the bigger agenda here. And then, of course, the only other card that has a nuclear explosion is beneath that card, the tower card, which is the death card, where you have the rider of the pale horse, and then you have the nuclear explosion in the background there. So all that to say, I think there's a greater agenda here at play, and it's you can call it World War III, but it's really the pinning of the Eastern and Western powers and create the tension, especially on the economic and financial rails, which is something that's taking place now, to create the New World Order, which will emerge after this conflict that is a ever-present threat to the world and its security. So there you go.
All is going according to plan.
It's all coming together.
It's all coming together.
Yes, it's all coming together. Okie dokie. Well, let's see. I think we got one more thing here before we go to break.
Okay.
I'm so far away from the document. Here I am right now. Let's talk about some psyops here.
Ooh, psyops. That was really anticlimactic.
That was the short one. Okay. Well, we'll keep it short. This comes from NPR.org, and the headline is 5 Ways to Cope with the Stressful News Cycle.
Who's this,
Gonz.
NPR?
Yeah.
Oh, NPR is going to give us tips on how to deal with all this.
They're going to help us. They wrote this for us, Gonz. How do we possibly cope? I mean, besides keeping in mind that it's all sort of theater and illusion and more of a narrative, a story being told to us by those who hope to influence the way we think and build our reality around us. And just keeping that in mind helps me cope with the fact I'm reading some sort of demented children's book 24 hours a day and analyzing it and doing a podcast about it. But let's see what NPR has to say.
Okay.
Russia invaded Ukraine this week, and the world seems to have shifted. Even after weeks of bracing for an attack amid speculation, global tensions, and diplomatic attempts to stave off invasions, the reality of conflict is always a shock to the system. Oh, yeah, it's almost like it's used specifically for that purpose. Wow. What a noteworthy.
It's funny how even the mainstream normies recognize the thing, but they don't understand what the thing is.
I think close. They know what it is. They just like to mess with us. Yeah.
Okay.
There are still so many more questions than answers. Perhaps among the first batch on your mind, how did we get here? What does it all mean? Or maybe, what does this mean for my life? What can I do about it? What can I do about Putin and Ukraine? We've been asking ourselves.
I'm going to send Putin an email.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to my representative. I'll tell you what. We've been asking ourselves the same things. What we have to offer you is the simple truth that sometimes when you don't have all the answers, it's okay to look for what you can control and seek comfort where you can. Oh, that's nice.
Okay.
It doesn't help, but okay. A few ways you can support people in Ukraine include making donations to or spreading the word on this non-exhaustive list of organizations. UNICEF being the first one.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, great.
The organization created by the brother of Aldous Huxley, who wrote Brave New World. Julian Huxley? Yeah, okay.
That's the one.
Good.
The one steeped in sort of New World Order, occult, long-term scheming. Medicines Sans Frontieres, Doctors Without Borders, Voices of the Children, Sunflower of Peace, and International Committee of the Red Cross. While we wait for more information, don't forget to care for yourself in other ways. Some self-care tips, folks.
All right.
If you're getting overwhelmed by the news, here's what you should do.
Got it. Let's go.
Starting with number 1, which is breathe.
Don't we already breathe?
No, Gonz. No? You don't realize this. When you're reading the news or thinking about the news, or the news is on in your general direction, you stop breathing. You just hold your breath.
No wonder people are so anxious. Maybe you should breathe. Oxygen to the brain while you're reading this stuff is good.
Well, NPR is here to save the day. If you're feeling your body contracting or overheating,
oh my gosh,
step away from whatever you're doing and take a deep breath. Here's a 5-finger breathing exercise that can bring you back to the moment. If you want to take it a step further, try these meditations and mindfulness exercises for beginners.
I'm concerned for the general NPR reader. Do they read the news and start contracting, like convulsing?
Yes, they're triggered.
It's really bad.
Triggered.
What a horrible sight.
It's a hard life being an NPR devotee, because on the one hand, you're triggered by every bad thing that happens, and on the other hand,
the cognitive dissonance really gets into the nerve endings of your body, and they can't handle it.
Number 2, Gonz, get moving.
Oh.
Yeah, don't not get moving, Gonz. Do get moving.
Okay.
Do something that feels good for your body and helps you get out of your head. We've got lots of tools to help, whether that's deep cleaning or comfort decorating to create a cozier space, tips on learning a new skill, or jump-starting your exercise routine.
All right.
That is not where I thought, hey, you stressed out by the news? Try redecorating.
Go decorate your living room.
Yeah, head on over to TJ Maxx. Okay, more. Nourish yourself.
Like eat food and drink. Okay.
If you're feeling stressed, go eat.
Okay.
I could have told you that one.
Yeah.
The kitchen is a safe space for a lot of us. Maybe this is the weekend and you finally recreate Grandpa's famous lasagna, or learn how to make a prettier pie. What? Or maybe you just lose yourself in some kitchen organization. Why does this tell me to clean every time? Every single one of these steps is like, go clean your house, you filthy pig person. Come on, trash goblin. Go clean. Stop reading the news. Go get busy. Don't have every ingredient for that lovely Deb Perlman dessert? Don't stress. We've got you covered on how to make food substitution simple. Oh, good. Next, we have stay connected.
Oh.
When the news is scary, it's easy to get lost in our own heads. Didn't you literally just tell me to go do something else and not pay attention to the news? Reach out to loved ones instead. That could look like sitting down to write an actual letter to a relative, spending time with neighbors, playing or creating games with family, or even taking the time to write down those generational stories. If your little ones are struggling to go to bed at the end of the day, try talking to them about the heavy news head on.
Whoa.
Little Timmy.
Little Timmy,
I know you're having trouble sleeping at night. I am too. Oh, what do you mean, little Timmy? You're gripped by the existential doom that is hovering over us in the form of nuclear apocalypse, directly following a world-ending pandemic. Little Timmy.
Vaccination.
No, little Timmy. Keep that mask on. You know, Rochelle Walensky says you got to wear your mask while you're at home in your own bed alone, or else the COVID's going to get you.
Get vaccinated.
If the COVID don't get you, the nukes will, little Timmy. But
on the way.
Here's the thing. Let's talk about this straight on. NPR told me that this will be good for us. So here's the thing, little Timmy. Sometimes some dictator psychopaths like to attack other lizard people, and in doing so, tend to, murder thousands of people, ruining what could have been a peaceful life in the countryside with the black fumes and burning fires of the war machine, little Timmy. Why are you crying? Don't cry. No, this is supposed to help.
Give me a break.
Next up, they say, or sign off. Remember that it's okay not to be plugged into the news by turning off your alerts or checking the headlines. Checking the headlines once or twice a day. That's still a lot. You may be able to feel more grounded and prioritize yourself and loved ones.
You know what they didn't include in this list?
What?
Is listen to Canary Cry News Talk.
I know. See?
That's the best way
That's what they missed.
De-stress from the news. And still get the news.
Here's the sell, Gonz. Here's the sell.
Okay.
Life Kit is uniquely positioned in the NPR newsroom. As a service journalism team, it's our mission not only to inform, but to be helpful. Service journalism is what they're calling themselves. We deal not only in cold, hard facts, but also in caring and kindness.
Wow.
In this turbulent time, we invite you to do the same. It's important for all of us to stay informed citizens of the world, and also to remember, take it easy on yourself and on each other. Except those filthy, unvaccinated animals. Go burn down their homes, just like Rochelle told us to. Okay, so there you go. Life Kit. Life Kit is a service journalism team there at NPR. I didn't find this particularly helpful, but I do find that their solutions really all revolve around not paying attention, disconnecting, not, don't
literally their
just
advice
stop
is
listening.
Yeah.
Don't
go outside.
think about it. We're in this interesting sort of social pivot where before it was like, nobody's paying attention to the news. None of these Americans care about world affairs. Nobody knows what's going on. They're all just sucked into their own little worlds, worshiping celebrities and eating junk food. And now we're in this phase where it's like, whoa, all these Americans are paying way too much attention to what's going on in the world. Can we get them back on the not paying attention thing? Can we do that? No? Okay, well, let's just
breathe. You should breathe is what
breathe.
You should do, and eat and talk to your family. And
don't look at the details. just go, distract yourself. Now, of course, it's important and very difficult to stay sane when you pay as much attention to the news as we do. But maybe we should make our own list, Gonz.
Maybe. Well, I feel like our interaction with our producers is one form of therapy for all of us.
Yeah.
Not just you and I, but for an entire community. So
yeah, we mostly
like
do the stay connected thing, sit down with Lil Timmy 3 times a week and talk about how, the world is ending yeah. and how there's nothing we can do about it. And the robots are coming to steal our life force and put our children to work in the salt mines.
And our president told us
Armageddon's on the way.
It's coming. Yeah. We're supposed to be scared, but
don't pay attention, folks. Do some meditation and mindfulness exercises.
I forgot to mention this, but we can do it later. Something about Swift.
Oh, you can mention it now.
I was just thinking because the word Swift is obviously in the Bible. There's a couple passages. There's a lot in there that we can break down, but for the sake of time, there's a couple passages that I thought is interesting. Isaiah 19:1, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud and shall come into Egypt. And then this one's more pertinent. 2 Peter 2:1, but false prophets also arose among the people, just as there will be false teachers among you, who will secretly bring in destructive heresies, even denying the master who bought them, bringing themselves swift destruction. Ooh. So maybe the swift
Swift destruction.
It's part of the swift destruction of the entire Western New World Order and rise for the new World Order, which will probably be all blockchain.
Yeah, as it is written, so it shall be.
Yep.
Okay. Well, should we take a little break?
Let's do it.
Okay.
It's break time! Come on, take a break.
Okie dokie, folks. We're going to take a quick little break, but don't go anywhere because right after the break, we got a lot more show for you. We're going to be talking about COVID and the pandemic and politics and the vaccine. What's the FDA and CDC up to? Oh, my goodness. You're not going to believe it, folks, but it's going to be a good time taking that apart. And then, of course, later on, we got a little check-in with the UN's Atlas of Human Suffering. Not going to want to miss that. And we've got more ideological colonialism of Antarctica.
Yes.
So stick around. And just a quick reminder, you YouTubers, you will not be getting the full show on the YouTube broadcast. So get ready to hop on over to one of our other broadcast locations. But before that, I got to tell you a little something about the value for value model. That's right, folks. No advertisements, no affiliate codes, no nothing that would let those sneaky corporate interests swoop in the back door and start subtly manipulating our psychology for corporate gain. Nope. We're on the value for value model, which goes like this. We create value. We do it 3 times a week. And if you get any value out of what we do, you have the responsibility, the opportunity, but also the responsibility, mainly to just wake up to the fact that if you truly want to keep independent media alive, it is all of our responsibility. We all can participate in different ways with our time, our talent, or our treasure. But the long story short of it, if we don't want corporate interests getting wrapped up in our independent news analysis and deconstruction, the only option is to come together and keep it alive ourselves. Here at Canary Cry News Talk, we call those people producers. They come in many forms. Some produce with their talents and their artistry and their beautiful minds. Others produce the show with their time and their abilities to make things happen. And the others produce the show with their treasure, which is an essential part these days of keeping a show going. Lots of costs, lots of subscription services it takes to keep something like this going. And that's why we like to thank them here, because they're producers, actual producers. It's not a gimmick, not a cute little thing. They are people who are committed to keeping the show going, and you can too. No longer shall the 12-headed hydra of corporate advertising be incentivizing creators like Gonz and I to package up as many eyeballs and trust units and attention globules into little paper baggies and sending it off to corporations for our own personal gain. Those are funny ways of just saying us selling your brain. And we're not going to do it. It's not good for you. It's not good for us. And the value for value model is a revolution, a rebellion against that model. So we're very happy to participate in that. And if you want to participate as well, think about it, pray about it. And if this shows something you get value from, become a producer. You can do that by going to patreon.com/CCNT, or even better, CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
That's right. If you go over there to CanaryCryRadio.com/support, you'll see all sorts of fun ways to produce the show. You can do so if you're a cool cryptocurrency person. Russians. Any Russian producers out there? You've got all of our, what are they called? Public wallets there if you want to support the show with your cryptocurrency. You can support the show on a monthly basis if you want to commit. It's a nice set it and forget it option. If you find yourself getting value out of the show often and you want to continue getting that value and putting value back in, you can support the show on a monthly basis. You can, if commitment is not your thing, you can support the show in a one-time amount in whatever amount you would like. Think of the freedom. Think of the control. You can take over your own destiny and the destiny of me and Gonz and his kids and my cats and everything like that. So there you go. Gonz, who do we have to thank today?
We're going to start with the executive producers, who we already thanked at the beginning of the show, but we're going to thank them again, and that is Hanah G.
Hanah G. Thank you very much, Hanah G. Became executive producer last episode, but because of the emergency last time, we're rolling over all of them to this one. Thank you, Hanah G. Comes in the generous amount of $231.92.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
Yeah, I wonder if that was with fees. Maybe it was 22222 plus fees.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much, Hanah G. It means a lot.
Thank you, Hanah G, for your executive producership.
Where'd you find this?
And not to be outdone, producer MORV.
Thank you, MORV.
Thank you,
MORV.
You caught Basil's throat there.
You got me.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much, MORV. MORV is on a streak.
He is, yeah.
57 episodes in a row.
It might, yeah.
I can't remember if I changed it or not.
Yeah.
Let's call it 58.
Okay.
Thanks, MORV. 58 episodes in a row. Came in twice for the 2 episodes. First one came in at $111.11, and then again this episode for $11.11. And a note here, this is from Friday.
It's from Friday, yeah.
We don't need to play the Friday jingle, but
I got I got the super short version.
Okay, happy Friday, family.
It's Friday.
There you go. We can keep playing with the Friday thing. Very good.
There you go.
What a time to be alive. Psalm 9:19-20. Arise, O Lord, let not man prevail. Let the nations be judged before you. But put them in fear, O Lord. Let the nations know that they are but men. And then another note says, Happy Monday, fam.
Gary, what day is it? Monday.
That's right. Hope everyone is doing all right. What an incredible time in history for us to be able to be witnesses for Jesus. John 16:33. In this world you have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. Amen indeed. Thank you very much, MORV.
Thank you, MORV. And we have one more. Oh, is executive producer MORV.
Where'd you find this?
And we got one more executive producer, and that is Spears Desert.
That's right, Spears Desert. Thank you very much. I did not see a note from Spears Desert, but he is back in action. Comes in to executive produce at 133.33.
Where'd you find this?
Okay, and that concludes our executive producers for the show. And Gonz, I don't know if you knew this or not, but today is the very last day to sign up for the first ever supply drop. That's right, CanaryCry.Supply.com. You can go there now and become a Canary Cry Supply Dropper. For those who don't know, the Canary Cry Supply Drop is our 2022 producer thank you campaign, where in the past, when our pitiful attempts at creating merch and managing that whole supply chain and changing our business model, not for us. So, but we realized, we heard the producers and they called out and they said, give us cool stuff. We said, okay, we will, but only if we do it in a way that is different, if is disconnected from the traditional economic models, because we are not relying on those old, outdated, outmoded, ungodly ways of, supporting the show. Instead, we wanted to send these things out for free, and we are doing that as thank you gifts to producers of the show. When somebody comes in, becomes a producer of the show for $33.33 a month, they are signed up automatically to receive the Canary Cry Supply Drop, which is chock-a-block full of fun stuff. Apparel, accessories, stickers, buttons, survival gear, all sorts of crazy fun stuff that we come up with on the show. Tokens of our existence. Gonz is very, very passionate about sending the supply droppers NFTs at some point. So prepare yourself for that as well. But all sorts of cool stuff. And it's all designed by Canary Cry artists. It's manufactured with the sort of management of Canary Cry producers. And there's even some really fun stuff. The ARG, there's an augmented reality game that myself and a few producers have been working on that will be a partner. It'll be a partner to the podcast or the stream. Yes. Where, so only supply droppers will get to participate in this fun game.
Secret codes.
It'll be 3 months long from one supply drop to the next supply drop. And we put a lot of energy into it, and we think everybody's going to have a real fun time with it.
By the way, I forgot to tell you this, but I was talking to my wife about all the things we're developing and all the things we're building and stuff. Yeah. And she was looking at one of the elements that we're working on, and she goes, "This is how secret society started." And I was like, maybe, I don't know, but I think we're trying to keep the main thing, you know? But,
exactly.
From the outside.
It is a little bit of a secret society. I mean, it's not everybody's gets to come in. You got to produce the show, or you got to at least listen to the show.
Yeah.
So it's secret once you get in there.
It's secret, but also everything we talk about is public. So,
but the ARG does have some fun little.
You gotta pay attention to know.
Things, fun little things. You're gonna love it. So, I can't thank everybody enough who has signed up for the Canary Cry supply drop. But I also think you are going to love it so much. And today's the last day where the cutoff is at 11:59 tonight. 11:59. So, this is your last day to sign up for this quarter's supply drop. You can still sign up tomorrow, but you'll be receiving next quarter's supply drop. Okay, I'm trying to do one last thing so I don't mess up somebody's name is the problem. There was a special name I needed to not say and say something else. Okay, but first, let's start out. Here we go. So here's our Canary Cry supply droppers. First of all, we're going to start out with Menace Sensei.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Menace Sensei.
Thank you very much, Menace Sensei. Came in with the 33 plus fees, and he sent a little note here, which supply droppers don't do often, but I like to read them. Here we go. Hey, Daddy Basil and Gonz Sensei. Sorry it took me a while to set up for the supply drop, but I hope I made the cut. I've been listening to the show for a while now. I've been in the Canaryverse since 2015. Not going to lie, but I've always been a Gonz simp. I thought you'd like that. But only recently I've developed a soft spot for Daddy Basil.
Oh, good. Because a lot of people had a problem with you, but I think people are, getting
they're
used
warming
to
up.
Yeah.
The people who had a big problem with me are either don't listen anymore or I've won them over. I got sad when Gonz Sensei lost his Facelikethesun YouTube channel. I always used Age of Deceit, Fallen Angels, and the New World Order as my #1 resource to share to normies. Ooh. Also started listening to Ravel too, and I've been loving it. But CCNT is always #1 in my podcast feed. I left a review on Apple Podcasts as well. And no, Gonz Sensei's grumpy uncle didn't shame me to do it. Love you guys. Thank you for everything you do. You're your good bud, Menace Sensei. Thank you very much, Menace Sensei.
Thank you.
And thanks for the support. I think you're going to love the supply drop, and thanks for the kind words.
Appreciate it.
Next up, we've got Jinja M coming in with the 33 in fees.
Thank you, Jinja M.
Thank you very much, Jinja. Then we got Aaron W coming in.
Aaron W. Thank you very much.
Getting the supply drop. Next up, we got Brian W.
Brian W. Are they brothers?
They're both W.
W's.
As they're brothers with George W. Next, we got Caleb T signing up for the supply drop.
Caleb T.
Thank you, Caleb T. Kyle I. Kyle I. Here, yes. Yeah. Joseph G.
Joseph
is in the house. Thank you very much, Joseph
Thank
G.
You.
We got Peter B.
Peter B.
Peter B. Then we got Stouffer.
Ooh, Stouffer.
Yeah,
I like that.
Stouffer. And Stouffer specifically requested a demooching.
There you go, Stouffer.
Yes, Stouffer. Just checking one thing really quick. Here we go here. Okay, next up we've got Timothy M.
Timothy M. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Timothy M. Then we got Watchman Studios coming in.
Thank you, Watchman Studios.
Yeah. Then we got
what is happening here?
I'm trying to be better at not messing up people's names they want to be known as. So I'm just double checking.
Is this a name or is this a robot machine?
It's something. It's like Elon Musk's nephew or something. LX Protocol V2.
All right, LX
coming
Protocol
in for the
V2.
supply drop. So
yes, there we go. Machines now accepting supply drops.
Yes.
Soros AI generated robot who went rogue has decided to like us instead of
we're winning over. It's because we talk about Flippy so often. They're like, wow, you know what? These humans, they're okay. I mean, they're a little paranoid, but they do have a lot of nice things to say about my buddy Flippy. So. Okay, Thank you, LX Protocol V2. Now, I will say there was a handful of other people I think tried to sign up for the supply drop, and it didn't quite go through.
Okay.
But I emailed you, so respond to me, and then we'll get you on there.
We've got to be close to the 100 cutoff, right?
We are dang close. I have not added the... I have not added them up after this new batch, but I will do that. I think we're going to get close enough to where I can justify putting in my other fun little thing I want to do.
Okay.
But if you want to help us officially hit the 100 supply droppers, you can go to CanaryCry.Supply.com. We're trying to hit that 100. So, it's the V for V, the value for value. You get the value from the show. You put the value back in the show. But through the supply drop, you're also creating more value for other producers, because when we get to 100 participants in the supply drop, we can start creating things in bulk, manufacturing them in bulk. So that means they'll be cheaper, which means we can, make cooler things, more expensive things. And yes, we had something on the wait list to see if we got to 100. So there's a few more hours, folks. Coming up at midnight tonight, if you want to get in. Again, this is the first ever supply drop. Things will be in this that will never be available again. There's collectibles that if you start after this one, you'll miss out on the first item. But that's okay. So you can always get it on the secondary market. There's going to be a whole black market of Canary Cry collectibles.
Oh, the NFTs might create that.
You never know. Help.
I'm not controlling
that. If you want to get in on it, it's not only is it a fun thing for us to do and like a kind of a special way for us to thank our producers, but it's also kind of creating, kind of like your wife said, Gonz, a secret society of people who will be receiving these items that nobody else will have access to. So you can go to CanaryCry.Supply.com, sign up there. Remember, when you're signing up, there's some instructions there. You got to check the box.
Read the instructions.
Read the instructions. Check the right boxes and make sure to send your address, or else all is for naught. Okay, there you go. CanaryCry.Supply.com. Let's keep moving.
Waiting for supply drop.
Right, we got some more people to thank here. We got a big list of people to thank.
Yeah, I was going to say, Gonz, for the sake of moving quickly, would you, one option when we want to move fast is sometimes, we trade duties. I can just blast through it so you're ready with the jingles, that type of thing.
Sure.
You want to just charge it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, here we go. These are the producers of not only this episode, 452, but also last episode, 451. Thank you so much for your participation in the Value for Value model. We couldn't do it without you. And we're starting off with a wonderful producer Cherie H.
Thank you, Cherie.
Thank you very much. Cherie H came in with 3333.
Illuminatus!
That's right. Next up, we have a returning producer. Nice to see you again. The Green Mountaineer coming in.
Ah, the Green Mountaineer. Thank you.
Yeah, coming in with the 3333 plus fees.
Illuminatus!
Yep. Next, we got, we know you, producer Jackie U.
U.
And she's on a 30-episode streak.
Oh.
Well,
shoot.
Oof.
Hold on. It was turned down. Okay, here we go.
No.
Yeah, she's on a streak.
Women rule!
There you go. Women rule. Jackie U came in with the 3333 plus fees and 333 plus fees. Sent a note that said, "Are we at 100?" I'm assuming she meant for supply drop. Yep. I'm not sure. We have got to be getting close. I got to do the count after this. We are at least extremely close. So anybody out there wanting to get in before midnight tonight, oh my goodness, would that help us? Thank you.
Illuminatus!
Thank you, Jackie.
Next up, we've got Linval, Jeth. Linval. I'm going to call him Linval Jeth.
Jeth.
Yes.
Linval Jeth. Okay,
yes.
Thank you.
Comes in with the 3333.
Illuminatus!
Mm-hmm. Next up, we got Marilyn M. Marilyn M comes in with 2333.
Ooh.
Illuminatus!
Is that Marilyn Manson?
No. Maybe.
Oh, no.
No. No. Marilyn Manson, first of all, is rich and would have given us much more money. Second of all, would have made it like 66666. You know, 666,000.
Although, wasn't he hanging out with Kanye recently?
Yeah, there's a big battle between
some weird thing going on.
What does that mean for Kanye and what does that mean for Marilyn Manson?
Yeah,
like,
are they
which
both
way?
Satanists or
are they both just sort of trapped in some sort of, cycle of, I don't know, secret society blackmail or something?
Sure, yeah. Okay.
Next up, we've got producer Spiritually Minded.
Thank you, Spiritually Minded.
Comes in for 2020. Thank you very much.
Clear vision.
Uh-huh. Next up, we've got producer Brian B.
Thank you, Brian B.
Yeah, Brian B comes in for 1234. Right. And a note here: what does an Italian Jesuit's favorite food? A pasta, see?
Like an apostasy. Get it? Jesuits, yeah.
This is my first donation, but I've wanted to do so for a while now since I watched almost every episode for the past year. Thanks. I think that means it's a demoochin', Brian B.
And this is for the joke. Meant to do that earlier,
nice.
But
the old joke stinger. Thank you very much, Brian B. Thank you for your fun number. Thank you for the joke. Thank you for coming in and supporting the show. Yep. And thank you for watching the show for so much.
Appreciate it.
Really appreciate it. Next up, we've got Puddin22.
Ooh, Puddin.
Yay. Puddin22 comes in, is on a 4-episode streak.
Oh, it's a she.
Yeah, she's on a streak.
Women rule!
Women rule. Thank you, Puddin22. Yes, is our producer who's actually a cat who stole the credit card of their owner. We appreciate that, Puddin. And I'm trying to make my way back to the document, but the virtual reality is going slow. There's a note. My human finally got the credit card bill. Wasn't too happy, but now is a CCNT fan, so it's all good. Can I get its Friday day, please? Much thanks. Meow, meow, meow. Puddin22.
It's Friday day.
Keep playing with the Friday thing.
Coming in with 11-11, right?
Yes. 11-11. I'm just double checking to make sure Puddin didn't come in again. I don't think so. So thank you very much, Puddin22.
Puddin22 rattled the cage of her owner.
Yeah, see?
That's how it's done.
Look, credit card fraud is a great way to spread the show. If you steal your owner's credit card, start supporting the show, they're going to check it out. They're not going to not check out the podcast.
What prompted this person?
Where's all my money going?
Money, yeah. All right.
Next up, we got Jonathan F. coming in with 1129. I think that's 1111 plus fees. Oh, no. Well, this is weird. Anyways, I'm going to go through this as written.
Okay.
But I tried to find what was going on here. I could not find it.
Okay.
Here's a note. Hey, guys. Love the show, and I've been listening to Gonz ever since Age of Deceit back in the early 2010s. Hope you guys are... ...
Yeah, I saw that too. I was trying to figure out what was happening, but...
I know you saw it. You put it in here.
I know.
Yeah.
I couldn't find the rest of the note.
Was this a LINKTREE, or was this a LINKTREE, or was this a? Because the LINKTREE sends in the note separately.
Oh, okay.
Let me see if I'm going to take 2 seconds to try to track it down.
Yeah.
Usually can do it pretty quick. Oh, there's another LINKTREE. We need to. Who are you? Oh, here's the note from Hanah G, the executive producer.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Oh, no. I hope Hanah doesn't not listen to this and not get the note. All right. Here's a note from Hanah G, one of our executive
producer. Yeah.
Yeah, our executive producer. Says, hi, guys. Wanted to give a shout out to my parents. It's their 33rd anniversary today.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Illuminati parents.
Yeah, 89. Illuminati confirmed. My mom is a listener of the show. Also, happy Bidets Day. Have a great show.
It's Bidets Day.
Yeah, I can't believe we missed that.
That's a good note, too.
Hanah G's parents, I hope you listen to this segment because Hanah G is a wonderful producer of the show. And congratulations on your 33rd anniversary, you lizard shills.
Yeah, you got to make sure to the Hanah G's handlers let her know that she needs to hear the whole show.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nuts. Well, next, I did find the note from Jonathan F.
Yeah.
It goes like this. Hey, guys. Love the show and have been listening to Gonz ever since Age of Deceit back in the early 2010s. Hope you guys are doing well and keep up the good work.
Good.
Thank you very much. JFig.
But he's got another one here. Is it the same one? Or?
See, that's the one I could not figure out where you got it from.
Oh.
But, I mean, I can figure it out in just a moment when I type his name into this and make it really entertaining for the purposes of a podcast. Ba-doop-a-doop-doop-doop-doop-doop. Ba-doop-a-doop-doop-doop. Nope, I don't know where that note came from, Gonz. Was that an email?
I think it was straight out of PayPal, but I could be wrong.
I'm not seeing it here. Seeing it here. Well, let's just read it anyways. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
Again, we have either the same or a different Jonathan F. who came in for 1066 plus fees. And it says, hey, Basil and Gonz, Basil's brain was actually fried last show. Like, no, okay, I know what this is, Gonz. This is not attached to his production. This was, he made the jingle for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
he's Jonathan F., the jingler.
Okay.
He said, the Billy Gates jingle was assembled by me. It's okay to not get credit as long as it got featured on the show. I'm pretty sure we gave him credit for that.
I thought so.
I thought we did because he was in our notes.
Yeah.
Anyways, if we didn't, sorry about that. But there you go. Jonathan F., producing the show in many different ways.
Okay. Thank you,
Next
Jonathan
up, we
F.
have, thank you very much. Next up, we got Palmer B on a 27-episode streak.
Yeah, she's on a streak.
Women rule!
Coming in with the 1001.
1001. Amen.
And the 3333.
Illuminatus!
Thank you very much, Palmer B. And a note. Shalom, boys. We should have a jingle with Gonz's grumpy uncle saying he is proud of us and that we brought honor to the family for when people leave 5 or more reviews. I have no audio production talent, but it's just an idea. With love, Palmer B. I think Palmer B is totally right. When we do hit the 5 jingle review mark per week, we should have you've brought honor to the family from your uncle. Do you think you could get your uncle to say something on the show that the jinglers can clip?
Yeah, we might have to listen to another part of the show for his.
All right.
He can't. He's
we'll do
busy
it later
right now, but we'll grab him later. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Palmer B.
Thank you,
Next
Palmer B.
up, we've got Heather Soros coming in. On a 62 episode streak.
Women rule!
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
Coming in with the 1001.
1001. Amen.
And this note was from Friday. Happy Friday, y'all. Can we get a gun? Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, don't worry about that because they want a jingle mix. Gonzo jingle mix.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks and much love, Eastside.
Spike facts. Dun, 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 dun. Real biological inequality. This is something which is way beyond just another species.
Human-machine hybrids. Data is the key, and they will have power over us. That freaked me out.
But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Heather Soros, for your support.
Thank you, Heather Soros.
Wow, this is hectic. I'm doing so much stuff on the back end here.
Hey, multitask.
Indeed. Next up, we've got producer JC on a 73 episode streak.
JC's streaking for sure.
Classic JC. Okay, JC came in for the 1001 twice.
1001. Amen.
And the note from Friday said it's Friday day. There you go. We can keep playing with the Friday thing. Just wanted to extend the invite to you guys to join us Canarians in South Carolina and buying a nice big plot of land for the Canary Cry commune. Been thinking about the reality of this, and I think it's possible. I think it is very possible
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, see, that's the plan, guys. Then another note came in. Gary, what day is it?
Gary, what day is it? Monday.
Somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
It's Monday.
Yeah.
Hope you both had a restful weekend. Looking forward to the next South Carolina meetup currently in the works.
All right.
Okay, that's what I like to hear. I will be taking and all suggestions and ideas to make this one even better than the last. God bless. South Carolina meetup, another one coming up. One of the rootin' tootinists, Canarius Cryist meetups. Glad to hear you guys are planning another one, JC.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
And yeah, just keep us posted about the commune.
Oh, yeah. Because
we need an East Coast landing strip.
Yes. And we also, I know some people doing some very interesting things with some very interesting technologies. So,
wow, how cryptic.
Yes, it could be something to look into.
Delightfully cryptic.
When it comes to the land there. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Okay.
Are you good?
Okay, I'm answering questions back here. Yes, we are good.
You want me to run
One of
some
the
of these?
people. No, here we go.
Okay.
Next up, we got Sir Sigrah the Beast is in the house. And
Beast.
he's on a 9-episode streak, baby, which means Sir Sigrah is lit, fam.
Where'd you find this?
Hey, you lit now.
Hey.
Coming in with the 1001.
1001. Amen.
Genuine question, Sir Sigrah asks, how many media pundits have talked about how the invasion will cause more COVID? Thanks. And Gonz, can you play me a couple of sweet alien-themed jingles? It's been that kind of week at work. Well, you got that lined up? When you get that, while you get it lined up, the genuine question is, I have not heard a single pundit talk about how Russia's invasion will cause more COVID.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Which is surprising, huh? You'd think a war would cause more
borders.
COVID. Yeah, if a freedom convoy will cause more COVID. Certainly a war in Ukraine would, but nope, that's not important to them, apparently.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? Let's see what I can come up with. It's hard to find. This is one of those things I would take a little bit of time. I have the ISO.
Aliens.
So I can do a little...
Aliens.
State and federal health officials.
Aliens.
They all want to share their data.
Aliens.
I don't know. I don't know this.
All the Dalians want to share their data.
The Dalians. All right, yeah, it's been that kind of week. You're right.
Yeah,
that was Friday, but
it really has
it
been.
really has. Yep.
Well, I hope that suffices, Sir Sigrah. Thank you. Next up, we got one from Runk Smash is in the house here.
Thank you, Runk Smash.
He's back, and he came in the last episode and this episode, and we're going to be calling it a 2-episode streak. Drunk Smash sent a note here. Here's today's producership, plus a bit to make good for my last one. See the email for microfiction. I tried letting you guys know I did my math very bad and was very broke. Now it's all mostly good. Just some card drama, and God is resolving, and spiritual warfare He is helping us through. God is good. Amen. God is good.
God is good.
And no worries. Yes, things happen in life, and that is no problem. That's why we have many producers to share the load. So when a producer is going through something, it's all good. So yes, we'll keep you in our prayers, Drunk Smash. Glad things are looking up. We'll get to the microfiction later on in the show.
Yep. Thank you
Next
very much.
up, we got producer Joshua M.
Thank you, Joshua M.
Coming in with the 777 plus fees and a note. Hey, Basil and Gonz, wanted to share something I didn't know, that Psalm 22 is a prophecy and is the direct thoughts of Christ on the cross and showed exactly what would happen. Check it out if you haven't heard about it. God bless, Josh M. I don't know if I have. I'll have to check that out. Psalm 22. There's a little study for someone out there. Yep. Psalm 22 and the connections of Jesus's thoughts on the cross. Okay.
Very
Next
cool.
up, we've got Sean D coming in with 888.
Oops. There we go. Thank you, Sean D.
Coming in on Friday. Says, happy Friday. Was hoping you could give my mother Cynthia and sister Natasha a happy birthday. Yeah, we can do that. This one is for Cynthia and Natasha.
It's my birthday. It's my birthday. Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday. And some biblically grounded words of encouragement during these crazy times. Also, Gonz, have you seen the black cube off of 5 North Freeway? LOL. God bless you both.
Yeah, it's the Discovery Science Theater. I've actually been there.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
I think I knew exactly what he was talking about.
Yeah. There was a giant in that thing. Last time we went with the kids a few weeks. It's been a few months maybe, but we went last summer, I think. And they had a giant flat Earth. I was like, whoa.
Oh.
Well, okay.
Gotta start them young, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
All right. Next up, we have got Gail M.
Thank you, Gail M.
Now, Gail M, last episode was going to be Gail M's 88th, which makes this episode her 89th episode in a row. Big old streak, but we also got to give her that 88 miles per hour.
Flawless victory.
Flawless victory. Thank you very much, Gail M.
Thank you, Gail M.
And she sent a note on her 88th episode in a row that went like this. My time machine arrived today, but I have to plug it in and let it charge for 72 hours. But that's okay, because it'll probably take 72 hours to read it. I wonder how Veronica is doing with hers. I wonder what color hers is. Mine's sort of a shark's tooth pattern. Love y'all. See you when I'll get back. When I get back. Thank you very much, Gail M. Yeah, I hope you enjoy the time machine. Of course, every producer who produces the show 88 episodes in a row is delivered a time machine, not through UPS or the normal postal services, but it just sort of appears in a ball of lightning and flame in your driveway, sent from the future to pick you up, take you wherever you want. So appreciate it very much.
Thank you very much.
Next up, we've got producer William F. coming in with 777.
Thank you, William F.
And note that says McDonald's wouldn't be the same if they removed their golden arches. KFC wouldn't be the same if they removed their chicken. And Canary Cry wouldn't be the same if they removed the original Wednesday jingle. For it will always be Wednesday, my dudes.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Today's the most confusing producership day because it's the days just don't matter anymore. It's just Wednesday jingle on a Monday, but also the Friday jingle on the Monday, but also the Monday jingle on the Monday.
On theme with Gail M's time machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I love how William F. sent this in on a Friday. and we didn't read it till a Monday. And it was about the Wednesday jingle. Yeah. Thank you very much, William F.
Thank you, William F.
Next up, we've got Sir Scott, Knight of Truth.
Sir Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Scotty.
Yeah, Sir Scott coming in. He's on a 100. Did you move his streak, or was this
I haven't
one
touched
from
it
before? Okay,
I haven't touched it.
He's on a 113 episode streak.
Woo! 113.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Sir Scott, Knight of Truth, coming in with 2 pocketfuls of 7. It says, happy Friday, everyone. Thank you. And also happy Monday from me, Basil. Thank you, Sir Scott. Next up, we've got Sir Casey, the Shield Knight, on a 123 episode streak.
Ooh.
Thank you so much.
Wow. Let's see here. Yes, coming in with 777 and 333. And he asked for a Howard Dean scream, which Gonz obliged so well.
Yes. Thank you, Sir Casey.
Okay. Now that concludes, I think, our producers who came in the amount of 777 or more, which entitles them to have a note read on the show. But we have a few more producers who have produced in amounts lower than that, which we'll thank now. And I'm just doing some real quick rechecking to make sure we didn't miss anybody or anything funky like that. But I will start out by, you know what? No, I got somebody to thank first. Okay, we had a supply drop producer come in during the show here.
Okay.
And that is producer Lee H.
Thank you, Lee H.
Lee, thank you. Yes, and there was a note from someone about their supply dropper ship. And I will say to anybody out there who thought they were signing up for supply drop and did not do so, usually is different for everybody, but usually the problem is that you did not follow the directions on the page. So if you didn't hear your name read in the supply drop section, go back to the page, check it out, and make sure you followed them. We're happy to make things right, of course. Okay, the 777 cutoff here. Here's a few more. We've got Veronica D on an 89 episode streak. We've got Doctor Who Done That coming in a couple times for a 59 episode streak. We've got Construction G coming in as a recurring supporter on Patreon. Thank you very much, Construction G.
Thank you.
Next, last but not least, we've got Child of God coming in on a 59 episode streak. Okay, Gonz, to my best knowledge, I think we have figured out our problems. Well, we
got a lot of problems
I know,
over here.
It just continues. I think that is all the producers, not just from this episode, but from last episode. Yep, I'm getting more supply droppers hitting me up. Okay, I'm going to take some time and get back to you. But if something didn't work, just go back through and follow the directions. Okay. So thank you to all the producers. Sorry it's a little bit longer here, but we had 2 shows worth of producers to thank, and we're so happy to do that. So without further ado, we'll thank everybody for their patronage.
Shut up and take my money. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage.
That's right. Now it's time to listen to some voice messages.
Please leave a message after the tone.
At the tone, please record your message.
Leave a message. Beep.
Beep. Message. Oh, I dodged it again. Okay, if you go to CanaryCryNewsTalk.com, CanaryCryNewsTalk.com, on the right-hand side, there's a green tab. Click on that tab, and booyah, you can leave us a voice message, say whatever you want. We're not guaranteeing anything gets played on the show, but if you leave a message, then you are agreeing to have it played on the show. You can give shout-outs to listeners or producers, leave your own Canary Cry Boots on the Ground report. You can ask questions, or just, recently we've been having a lot of celebrities call in and leave their opinions on the Wednesday Jingle Civil War. Who do we have coming in today, Gonz? I think we had one to start from Jimmy Stewart.
This acting legend, Jimmy Stewart, back from the dead to tell you guys, I prefer the new Wednesday jingle.
Oh. Short, straight to the point.
Oh, that was it, huh?
Yeah, that's it. No explanation necessary. Just delivering the goods.
Just had a statement to make.
Yeah.
Now, do you know who Jimmy Stewart is?
I thought he was somebody else, but you had reminded me that...
Well, I had to look him up. I had no idea who he was.
Oh, okay.
But he's an old-timey 1930s movie star guy.
Yeah. For some reason, I was thinking Jimmy Swaggart, which is not the same person. So,
well, I was looking up Jimmy Stewart because I needed to know if this was really him, if it was really his voice. And one of his most famous scenes he did with a kitten in one of his movies. He was doing a scene. Fella. And his interactions with this kitten got him acclaim, apparently, which is funny because it would win you an Oscar back then. Here, it would just get you, maybe 500,000 views on YouTube or something.
A viral TikTok moment.
There you go. Thank you very much, Jimmy Stewart, for calling in.
All right. Great. Nice. Appreciate it. I don't know if it changes any of the war there with the Wednesday jingle, but hey.
it's like the media, Gonz. It's like the mainstream media. There's hopes. These celebrities think that they can sway people's opinions.
Yeah,
that's why they keep calling in.
Yeah. All right. I think we have a report, boots on the ground report from Cool Runnings on here. So
okay.
This is a CCR special boots on the ground report. Now, let's go live.
Thank you. This is Cool Runnings with the special on the ground report. I'm here visiting with my memories. Memories. What do you remember exactly? Yeah, hey there. I remember my grandfather, Heinz, before he passed away, he, being a man from Switzerland, he prepared for me a special fondue dish that he called fondue. And I'm assuming that it's traditional because it was made by a man from Switzerland. And one thing I can tell you is that the fondue, as a fan, not a fan of melted liquid cheese, I can tell you that not only was the cheese not great, the bread was very soggy when it made contact with the fondue.
Well, yeah.
And it was very upsetting to my stomach upon entry.
Oh.
And I can also report that there was a lot of alcohol in the cheese. And that's about what I remember. Thank you, memories. And back to you guys at Canary Cry News Talk.
Thank you. Yes, well, this is a special Boots on the Report interview with memories. Who sent this in again?
Cool Runnings Mon.
It's a Cool Runnings
Boots on the ground report, right?
Boots on the ground. Yeah, okay. Boots on the report. Ground on the boots.
Sure.
Boots on the ground interview with Cool Runnings Mon and his own memories, which is pretty meta and cool.
Yeah, that's a good. We should all
memories of fondue with Grandpa Heinz with alcoholic fondue. Sounds like a real party to me. I mean, liquefied cheese and alcohol. What else is there?
It triggers my old memories of my uncle who tried to fax me dollars.
Yeah, right. He tried to fax you some cash,
and he gave me a tall glass of I think it was vodka when I was like 11 years old at some dinner.
So
and
he was like,
you'll be fine. And I remember I had a headache. I remember that.
Yes.
I was 11.
Vodka will do that to you.
Yeah.
But, the liquefied cheese, that could also get to the tummy. I get it. But I'm a fan.
I was curious if there was alcohol in the cheese or if it was alcohol in addition to the cheese.
I thought it was in the cheese.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of alcohol do you put in cheese? Well, anyway, this is sparking a whole...
It's beer cheese.
Oh. Ooh.
No, it's not. But the word's
good.
fit. Yeah. Beer cheese is a thing.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Cool Runnings Mon, for that very important report.
Yes.
Okay, who's next?
That's it, I thought.
I think there's one more.
Was there?
Should have been 3 in total.
Uh-oh.
You told me you had all 3.
I don't remember saying 3. I remember telling you I had all of them, which I thought was 2 because that's what I pulled up.
Well, I can look at your message. You said you got the 1 from today and the 2 from last time. Yeah, we got Polly the Gambino called in.
Polly the Gambino. Oh, I see it. That's from even earlier. Okay. I think I have it here. Give me just one moment and I will pull it up.
No worry. No worry. What is wrong with my brain today?
I don't know.
It is pretty rough.
Okay. All right, here we go. You ready?
Yep.
Hey, this is Bali. You don't know me because, I don't do the chat thing. You don't see me in there, right? Let's just say I'm a friend of the show, right? Okay, listen, let me tell you something. I've been hearing a lot of chitter-chatter about this Wednesday jingle. You know what I'm saying? And listen, we can all get along. I'm watching. I'm seeing what's going on. So don't worry. Tony, shut him up. Tony, shut him up. Put the bat away. Anyway, don't worry about it. I don't know if you heard that. Anyway, hey, don't look me up, all right? Don't look me up. But just know I'm watching the show, and I see what's going on here. I see what's going on, all right? So don't worry about it. Bada boom, bada bing, everything's fine, right? Hey, guys, the show's great. Keep it up, and just know, I'm watching. I got friends like Tony over here. Shut him up, Tony. All right. Peace out, guys. I'll talk to you later, all right? I hope I don't have to, but I'll talk to you later. All right. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Polly the Gambino. All this celebrity attention the Wednesday jingle Civil War has been drawing apparently has caught the eye of some organized crime participants. And but I'm glad he's watching the show. It's any eyeballs on the show helps.
The Italian accent to me, especially like the Eastern New York, I love it. Mm-hmm. It makes me laugh every time.
Oh, good.
Yes.
So there you go. I think that's all the voicemails. Thank you very much to everybody who left le voicemails. If you would like to leave your own, again, you can obviously get your favorite celebrity to call in and weigh in on the show, or you can give shout outs to listeners, thank producers, leave a report you want us to take a look at, all sorts of stuff. Just go to CanaryCry.Newstalk.com, hit the green tab on the right-hand side of the page, and that will get you there.
Are we done? Time to wake up?
I think, wait.
Oh,
I think, yeah. Well, do we say bye to YouTube now or after the break?
Oh, we can say bye now.
Still no goodbye YouTube jingle coming in yet.
Yeah.
All right,
okay, bye, YouTube.
Go find another place to watch the show. YouTube at CanaryCry.Party. We're over there on Twitch, Odysee, Rumble, all those places. Go find something.